Gunna has just finessed the entire industry, and this is more why I think that rap as a whole and just music in general, the entire entertainment industry is all just a facade. It ain't real. I mean, Gunna just beat being a snitch. All of these snitching accusations and allegations on Twitter and Instagram have completely been deaded because now look at this. He now has the most streamed song on Spotify in rap music in 2023, even beating out Drake with You Mean. So what does that tell you about how people actually perceive being a snitch? It means nothing, because if the music is good, nobody really cares. It doesn't matter where you're from. You could be from like the hood of Haiti and be a goddamn pirate, like the most hood person ever. You've never even seen what a phone is. It's like you're living out in the dinosaur era. You could have like 15 different bodies and telling a kid stealing a candy bar, and if they're still streaming your song, they really do not care, which just goes to show that as much as personally I like to be bought into the actual brand or artist behind a song more than just the song itself, because I like being involved in the lore, as you all know, with Playboi Carti, Uzi, etc. But most people just casually listen to music, and therefore it really does not matter how people perceive you as a person, as a snitch or whatever. It just matters if the music is good. So this whole snitching thing might have been the best thing possible, because technically speaking, like, think about how much publicity this whole Young Thug trial and Gunna being involved and going to jail for like a year actually received and did for his career. Because remember when Gunna was first released, paperwork leaked essentially reciting some statement that Gunna agreed to, that YSL was a gang and a record label, and therefore a lot of people, including myself, believe that to be somewhat dry snitching, because if there is a gang and Young Thug is the leader of YSL, the label, and or this supposed criminal organization, then that kind of ruins his RICO case, because that's the exact premise behind the government going after him. The whole purpose of a RICO case is that they can't necessarily prove you yourself did any crime, but if you were the leader making the calls behind the scenes, then they can get you. But back to the whole facade or fairy tale that YSL as a whole created for Gunna and Young Thug, because right when Gunna got out, they both released albums. If you recall, Young Thug released Business is Business with no Gunna features, so they were trying to almost tease the fact that Gunna might not be involved or even signed to YSL. I believe academics or other quote insiders were claiming that Gunna was supposedly looking to get out of his contract and go strictly just with Atlantic instead of through the imprint of YSL. And then Gunna released a totally solo project because a lot of people were probably scared to collab with him due to, again, these snitching accusations, and you don't want to be associated with a snitch in the rap game. But now, of course, I've already told you how Fuck You Mean is one of the biggest singles, if not the biggest rap single in 2023, beating out Drake. So even though Gunna was called a snitch and that might have hurt his career for like maybe a week because it sold less than Young Thug's, well, who really won in the long term? And I think Young Thug was even in on this marketing play, trying to make it seem like there might have been beef so that people actually listen to the Gunna project and hear what he had to say in his lyrics, claiming that he wasn't a snitch, meanwhile likely not having to put much into the marketing budget whatsoever for this album. And so not only do you get extra publicity, but now you get extra profit margins too. And after all, he wasn't really involved in the gang shenanigans, so even if he did snitch, would it really be a big deal? Personally, I don't think so. It's not like 6ix9ine where he was calling out hits on Instagram Live and then claiming, oh, it wasn't me. Like, Gunna was strictly there for the music. He might have rap lyrics where he's talking about like, I took someone's head off or whatever, but what rapper doesn't do this? It's just kind of like their swag. But what really opened up my eyes is there was an interview with Young Thug's dad that surfaced about a couple days ago, in that he explained that Gunna is essentially not a snitch. He loves Gunna. Gunna hasn't done anything whatsoever that can hurt Young Thug in this case, period.
Courtney said, how do you feel about Gunna?
I love Gunna.
See, that's the thing. People don't understand the relationship. They got this thing saying that Gunna is a rat and he's done this and done that.
But see, let me try to help the attorney clarify that a little simpler. Gunna hasn't done anything whatsoever that can hurt us on this case. Period.
And moreover, that he personally told Gunna that he should release music ASAP and make money for YSL label, because as I said before, all of this mainstream attention about is Gunna a snitch or is this gonna affect Young Thug's RICO case? Ultimately, at least from what Young Thug's dad is saying, it did not. However, again, they still made it seem like it would have. If they weren't using it as a marketing play, they would have come out within the first day defending Gunna, saying that he was not a snitch whatsoever, and the whole conversation would have been over with, and perhaps all the streams along with it because the conversation was dead. Or perhaps now YSL and or Young Thug's dad are just saving face because maybe they did originally think Gunna was a snitch because of the statements in the paperwork that leaked, but now since one of his songs is blowing up, they're co-signing it to make YSL look like an even better label than people already believed. And with that being said, I do think Young Thug's dad probably does have the highest credibility when it comes to information on the case as to if Gunna's a snitch. So all the producers and other artists such as Weezy and others who were saying that they were never gonna work with Gunna ever again probably sound pretty stupid, because to call one of your past friends and or collaborators a snitch in the rap game is probably one of the most detrimental labels that you can put on them. Regardless of everything we just spoke about, how it may not matter at all, it's still like you're intending to hurt their career. But I guess he didn't need them after all with the numbers he's pushing lately. So whatever actually went down behind the scenes is just super funny to me, because this whole music and entertainment industry is more of a facade than people think. A lot of fans get super serious into the gang antics when in reality these are singers and rappers, bro. They're not out here shooting people, doing actual crimes, because if they were, they would get caught up and go to jail and not have a successful career anymore. So all the times that people get into beefs, and I know I talk about it too, but I don't really talk about the whole gang shootout type beef. It's more like, oh, this person said this person is actually trash, and like he charged 80K for a beat and that's why he's not my homie anymore. It's more like high school type drama. I can't relate to all the killings and whatnot because that just brings bad vibes and negativity. I ain't trying to think about all that. But all in all, it just goes to show that no publicity is bad publicity. Even when you're called a snitch, people are gonna hear what you have to say. Even look at 6ix9ine when he was being called a snitch. He had a record-breaking Instagram live viewer count. Now, a lot of people can argue that these were bots or whatever, but still, people were tapped in to the story behind 6ix9ine of what he was gonna say to defend himself being a snitch and a popular rapper. Now, his music was trash though, and that's why he fell off completely, but Gunna obviously has a banger that's circulating on TikTok, radio, the clubs, and all that. And so even if he is a snitch, people are still gonna co-sign because he just makes good music. So in conclusion, if you didn't already get the point, snitching does not matter anymore. And this is pure evidence. Basically has a charting single, all the while coming off one of the biggest snitching accusations in the rap game in the last decade. But with all that being said, it's been your boy Bobbalam signing off, snitching on all my boys doing wire fraud so that I can make my YouTube videos start trending on the homepage. Then in the comments what y'all think about Gunna's case and this new information from Young Thug's dad saying that there's no beef or whatever and he wasn't a snitch. And of course, make sure to like and subscribe to the Pop Gang if you with it. Peace out, cloud people. Nice seeing you.